All right, guys, we're going to have a special friend of mine on tonight. We have Jared from Rocky Mountain Three Gun, and we're going to interview him tonight so that way we can hopefully get some people to want to volunteer. I've had a blast going there and volunteering. I've literally, you know, got so in the mindset that when I was up there, I found out that I wasn't healthy, and since going up there, I've lost about 40 pounds of weight. Just changed lifestyle changes because I realized by hanging out with these guys that I really needed to turn some stuff around. So it's really affected me. So I decided to ask if they wanted to come on and talk about it, and they said yes. So go ahead, Jared. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, yeah, my name is Jared Buer. I'm one of the match directors at Rocky Mountain Three Gun. There's three of us, a three-headed snake that runs the company with a whole group of people underneath us. Most notably, Greg Greason, Matt Beck, Ben Herman, Emily Bucher, that kind of put this thing together every year. But it's definitely a team sport. It takes a village to put together. And I started, I want to say, 12 years ago as a range officer
Okay.
at these matches and became a CRO. And when the previous match directors got tired and it's a lot to do and they decided to retire, they called us up and asked us if we would keep it going. And we just had a blast doing it.
Oh yeah. And I haven't been involved in something like this. I do race cars. I go down to Big Bend and do course official stuff down there, and do ham radio stuff and volunteer for a few things every year. And the level of attention that you guys give to every person, even though you're super busy, is impressive. Like you personally, I mean, you're got like 100,000 things going, but I can stop you, ask you a quick question, you give me 100% of your attention, and then you take off. And I don't know how you split your attention the way you do, because you guys are going crazy when you're there. It's just pulled in every single direction. Your time management must be impressive. So,
I wish it was so much in our personal life. I'm going to credit ADHD there. And an average
okay.
Rocky Mountain, I think last year between Friday when we started the main competitor match and Sunday at awards, I averaged 535 phone calls and texts. And those are from competitors, range officers, CROs, everybody on the grounds. And my job is to try to manage all that, make sure everybody has everything they need to be successful at what they're doing out there and having a good time.
And you're, um, not to sound like I'm blowing smoke, but you do a very well job. And your wife is very enthusiastic too to find a partner like that. And well, I guess that's so enthusiastic about what you're doing is also. I sat down at the table the first time I was there. I was just totally wore out, and I wasn't doing a third of what you guys were doing. And her level of energy just kind of peps you up and wants you to keep you going. It's just your guys' energy all the way around is impressive. I don't know where you get it. And then Greg, that is the most positive person I've ever met in my life.
Greg is great. We have a saying on the range. They shared with Greg years ago, and it just became a mantra. And it's not mine, but we don't have problems. We only have solutions. And lots of things are going to come up. Stressing about it does nothing for us. It's just we got a problem. Let's fix it. Well, we stress about it later. And we do a lot of time post match too, following up on all the what went well, what didn't go well, and whatnot. So we're when the match ends that Sunday, we finish awards. Our first meeting for next year is that afternoon.
Oh
And
wow.
we literally, it takes a year to put every one of those matches on the ground.
Well, the I've been helping with Black Rifle Challenge down in was it Rio Rancho, and they have nothing like you guys have in the level of attention to figuring out how to keep everyone safe and do it. And I think the maximum shot is 150 yards, and you're talking about 600 yards. It's the longest shot I think I've heard of, or I don't know.
We had two at our last match. We had one at 613 and one at 619. We try to keep them about 550 and closer for people running 223. But yeah, we've got the grounds out there. We try to use it, and you got the altitude too. So your bullets travel farther better at 7,000 feet than they do at sea level.
Oh yeah, yeah. The thing I have a problem is I live here in Las Cruces, and so I did all this load development. I figured out like bought like little sample things of different rounds for my rifle, and you figure out what's really good for what you think the maximum range is going to be. And then I did all this development, and then I go, oh crap, I forgot we're another 3,300 feet higher. So just threw everything off. But
I understand. It's funny. I have the exact opposite problem because we live on the eastern plains of Colorado right now, and I dropped down 3,000 feet. So all of my loads are developed out there. My zero's out there, and I come out. I shoot around here. It's a different game.
yeah, well, depending on and the thing that throws you off too is that ranch is so big that you could cross and you can gain 1,000 feet in altitude just from moving across the range. Because like the shotgun range is way lower than it is very difficult to shoot because your zero is always changing. Um, I have just never done anything like that. And then down here, when you do a local stage, you maybe do two stages, and it's still half a day to get everyone through, and you're doing 9 stages, and it's what 3.5 days to process all those people.
Yeah, we would do. Right now, we're running the staff shoots Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 2 full days and a half day, and then the competitors are shooting. Main competitors are shooting Friday, Saturday, and half a day on Sunday. So they generally shoot. I think it's like a 4 stages one day, three another, two another day, and everybody's schedule may rotate based on where your squad is to try to push 200 people through in that time frame. They may start shoot three the first day, four the second day, and so on. But yeah, it seems to work out. Yeah, the altitude, the grounds the NRA Whittington Center has got to be the most beautiful place in New Mexico
Oh
to
yeah,
shoot and have matches. And because there's so many challenges out there, and you can shoot a stage in the morning that's crystal clear and beautiful, and the stage in the afternoon, maybe you're having problems with the sun, and that reverses. You might have shot that stage 6 in the morning was the targets glow on the field, and then in the afternoon they kind of wash out in the sun. So it challenges everybody's skill set, regardless, and every match is different. Even if we change the stages every year, but even if you had the same stages every year, you would have a different look just because of the weather.
oh yeah.
We deal with rain. We deal with winds, 20-mile-an-hour gust while you're shooting rifle, and or it may be beautiful. And it's a great place to shoot, great place to compete.
Well, the first year I was on was it stage 9? I volunteered to be on, and I brought I was totally unprepared. I thought I had everything figured out. And I went and I forgot my rain jacket because there was no call for rain in the weather, and it rained hard for about a solid hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was raining so hard we had to stop shooting and just called it a day. And I was like, "What in the hell did I get myself involved with? This is I'm not even shooting, and this is hard. It's just grueling."
Even to design those stages, Cody, we use sun tracking apps to try to gauge where the sun is going to be when you're shooting at different times of the day because we're trying to keep the sun out of your eyes. But that particular day when we shut down, we had two lightning strikes on peaks near stage 1, and I was near one. We were out there discussing it with the guys, and I heard the boom behind me, and I got on my radio and shut it down, and we pull
Hmm.
everybody back into safety. And the squads had a tough time because they had to make up a stage the next day, but they did, they got through it.
Oh yeah, it's so. The one thing I've been curious about, and it seems like you have a lot of knowledge on, because you've been there for 12 years, is how did this come to be? How did you guys start? Because it started out as Soldier of Fortune, and then it kind of turned, or what is the exact? How did that work out?
So the Soldier of Fortune matches were really the first three-gun matches. I believe 79 was the first year they had a Soldier of Fortune championship. And one of the first matches out there was national matches that was challenging you with rifle, pistol, and shotgun. And there's a lot of history about that. But as the matches progressed over the years, the Soldier of Fortune guys stepped out. Some others had taken the helm and kept it going, and it was named different things, and it eventually moved down to New Mexico, and I think it's been in New Mexico. I'd have to look at the date since like 2003 or whatnot. And it's one of the longest standing competitive matches in the United States, especially in three gun. And in fact, I don't think it was the original three gun match in the United States back in '79. So we just tried to carry the torch with that, and there's no better training in the world. We go and we train at a range with our rifle or our pistol or our shotgun. But when the clock goes off and all of a sudden your adrenaline kicks in, crazy things happen. I can tell your training level just watching you shoot under pressure on the clock. And it is the best way to learn how to manipulate and use those weapons effectively. You see every equipment malfunction you could possibly imagine during a match. And I'm sure you've experienced quite a few out there. And shotguns break, rifles break, pistols break, and it's great. It puts your brain to the test as well as challenges your marksmanship skills and your physical conditioning too. I, like you, I go down there and I realize I really need to get in shape every
Oh
year that
yeah.
I'm down there because we're huffing and puffing.
Well, yeah, I walk 5 miles every day to try to get ready for this. So I started at September, and I weighed, what was it? I weighed 290 pounds, and now I'm down to 255, just to get the endurance level up. Because the first day I worked at Rocky Mountain Three Gun, I walked, I think it was 22 miles, just
Uh,
following, because I tracked it on my watch. I was like 22 miles of walking, and I went home and I was just destroyed, uh, emotionally, because it was nothing like I thought I was, and I was having cramps. My wife is very encouraging to me to go because she's like, "You go and you get healthy, so keep going."
sure.
And
No, no,
well, on
when
that,
we were ROing for years too, we run so much out there, and it's all about when we're at altitude, all about hydration and calories.
yeah,
And if you can stay up on your water and your electrolytes and eat, it's so important to eat during the day because, like you said, you walk 22 miles, man. And, that's you don't even notice it until about mid-afternoon, I'd say.
hmm,
It starts setting in, and yeah, when I was a CRO, we used to work on proteins and waters one squad, and electrolytes and sugars, and different things the next squad, and just trying to keep people up and having a good time because it can be challenging.
oh yeah, it's well, I think that's the as a fat guy, the food you guys got there is fantastic. I mean, the last year the cooks you had came in from Louisiana, from all over the country, just to cook and hang out with you, and and there was not one bad meal, and I think
That makes
the camaraderie there of just talking, like it's like a battle, like a, when the army decompresses, they go back and they
sure.
share. Yeah, and the camaraderie there is like, I wrote a song about my experience there. I hope you liked it because it was took a bit. But
We love the song. I loved your song so much. It was inspiring, and it was it made me very happy to hear the lyrics, I guess. It said that, this match touched Cody like it touched me over a decade ago. And we plan on using your song with your permission,
oh
possibly in
yeah,
our promo video this year.
oh yeah, whatever you guys need, I'm here for you. Uh, and just the camaraderie, I just had to express that in a song. And I'm not even a really good songwriter. I just have people like look it over and say this is okay, and then I have an AI generator that sings it because I can't sing a tune. But uh,
Nor can I. No, it was great, Cody. I was very impressed. I sent it out. We work with Mindframe Cinema. Mindframe Cinema is out of our bed, and they're just Nelson at Mindframe is such an amazing videographer, and he too he fell in love with our matches years
oh
ago,
yeah,
and he comes shoots a great video for us every year. And we sent him your song right away. Said, Nelson, I got something for your video this year.
oh cool, yeah, yeah. Well, that gave me chills because that's cool that other people get to. Hopefully, they enjoy it. You kind of get nervous when you put yourself out there, and you're like, I hope this is a good song. 'Cause,
No, I loved it. Yeah, yeah. Emily loved it too. We sat down right after you sent it to us and listened to it, and I was impressed, man. And it kind of touches on something. Like I said, the match touched you like it touched me. Oftentimes I would go home working a match, and like you said, I'd put in 17 to 25 miles on a match, or on a day, running a stage, and we'd go home with sunburns and mosquito bites and all these things, and swear we were never going back. And within a week of being home, we were already planning next year's match. You're already setting up your rifle and setting up your pistol because of the camaraderie that we have down there. It's just a great environment.
yeah, I know. I've been reading the rules so I can figure out how to uh, get more rounds on my belt. So
That's smart. So what are you running for a pistol this year?
I'm going to run my Glock. I'm still going to run the Glock, but I've made a lot of. Well, one of the sponsors actually, with this guy right here, I have these guys gave me a nice sight for my
Access
pistol.
sights. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was good enough to win one of those sites, and I've been down at the range practicing, and they're fantastic. So I'm glad they're a sponsor. Uh, they're,
Hey,
they have
shout
the,
out to Monty and the guys at Access Sights. I running their offset sights on my rifle. I've got their sights on a Glock 21. We've got them on both Emily's Glocks. And yeah, I love Access Sights. I love what they do.
well, they're so much fun to talk to because they're like, I don't think you're going to want it. What are you going to? And they talk through what you do with it, and they help set you up. Like, because I since I got over 40, I've become really farsighted. So now I'm like, I need a big sight. He's, the gentleman was like, this is the one for you right here. I'll send this to you. If you don't like it, you can, you tell us, and we'll figure out how to keep you happy. And then the other one I got a LaRue tactical trigger the first time I went there. That one blew me away. That's a really is it LaRue? Yeah, it's LaRue tactical, right?
Yeah, it was LaRue. I think that's their meticulously built triggers, is what they were
Yeah,
sending us. And I run them in two
yeah,
rifles. They were great triggers.
yeah. These guys here.
Yeah, there you go. That's LaRue. So those are the Dillos. Those are the tactical bottle openers that they give us, and they actually engrave those for our May match or the He-Man 3 gun battles every year, and then we
Yeah,
can
this
only get them out in Rocky Mountain 3 gun.
yeah, here, guys.
I
This is what
love
you
that.
get. Yeah, it's sitting right
They
here
are
in
man.
my. I have two of them. It's like a commemorative thing that I keep on my. I have ADD too, so I have a lot. My desk is horrible, so that's stuff everywhere.
LaRue Tactical that year sent us enough triggers so everybody could go home with one. And not only did all the competitors and the staff get one, everybody at the NRA Whittington Center that works there, we were able to give them one as well. And it makes me happy. They're a great sponsor to work with.
Well, I was so I did 3 gun 12 years ago before I got married. Oh, now it's like 14 years ago. I forgot. And I never thought triggers made a difference. I thought it was all the person. And those LaRue triggers are fantastic. I put it in and I'm like, yeah, this is because it's hard to describe the two-stage trigger, because you can
Sure.
pull it hard and it goes like a regular, but you can creep it and it snaps. It's very interesting. So, and then you
Trigger control
guys,
is one of the biggest things. When people don't understand that, I learned that at 3 gun. I was pulling my rifle left or pulling my pistol left or right or whatnot. And those triggers help take some of our human mistakes out.
they cover up some of your bad habits too. So, um, oh, so one of the things I got a new list of the rules, and that's where I found out that you could have a certain length magazines. Because I thought
Yeah.
it had to be stock magazines, but it has to be inside a competition length for my. So that's when I bought these. Was it TTI mag extensions, so I can carry more ammo. What was the significance of changing the rules this year? Because it's been a minute since you had changed the rules, but I saw that you changed them for this competition. Is it just because you learned stuff that you needed to change, or what was the reason for that?
And safety is first and foremost. That's one part of the rule changes. We, we we're in a shooting sport. We want to keep everybody safe all the time, and some of our rule changes were because of safety. Other things was just to try to clarify that the shooting sports are always evolving, and our rule set has been basically the same since about 2007. And in fact, in 2007, everybody kind of went a different way, and there was well, again, Three Gun Nation was one that came out, kind of standardized three gun, and USPSA multi-gun rules. All of those kind of do their own thing, and we became an outlaw match because our rules were kind of unique to us. But we'll always be an outlaw match because of where we're shooting. We're not shooting in berms or on ranges. We're out in the rough terrain. But yeah, safety was the biggest portion. And just to really kind of clarify things, the other thing is we have lots of gamers in our sport because Rocky or three gun is a game. And
Hmm.
it's a time-based sport, and people are always looking for ways to cheat your rule set. So we clarify things sometimes in order to keep it all equitable.
Oh yeah, um, for sure. The um, sorry, I got a message popped up here. ADD moment. I apologize. Yeah, the what was one of the most significant changes that you would say that you changed on there?
One of the things that's not regarded or not related to safety was our long-range penalties. We've always kept the same penalty for if you were shooting a rifle target at 10 yards or 600 yards. If you missed and decided to leave the target on the grounds and go on, it was a 10-second penalty. And we increased that to 20 seconds for the longer range targets past 200 yards. And we have a lot of new people in our sport every year, and we didn't feel like people were really making an attempt to engage some of those long range targets, and they were maybe getting an edge over the people who were. We put a stage on the ground, and I have every expectation for you to sit down and engage and make your best effort to get every one of those targets. And we test them with people that are just kind of mid-range shooters too. We don't design stages for the top shooters in the country. We design stages that all of us can go shoot. And so we increased the penalties just to with the hopes that people would make a better attempt at some of the long range targets.
So does that mean it's like failure to engage, or is it how does that penalty work? So like,
Well, that would just be so if you drop down on position and Cody was shooting at our 600-yard target, you took a couple well aimed shots at it and whatnot, and the stages are timed right, and you move past it, you just get a 20-second penalty. In the past, it was 10. All the other rifle targets are still 10. If you ran by the target and you chose not to engage it, that failure to engage went from 15 seconds to 30 seconds.
oh wow.
And we had some shooters in other divisions that would maybe run by some of those long range targets because they did the math and they said, I'm going to spend 10 to 30 seconds engaging this target, or I could just run by it, leave it on the field, and it only cost me 15 seconds. And so we increased the penalty to try to force you into at least making an attempt. Our long range targets this year, I had massive shoulder injury after last year's match at work and whatnot, and I'm not in the best shape for shooting. And I still was able to kill all of our long range targets, 2 out of 3 with one shot here in May. And so they're definitely doable. We were just trying to encourage shooters to engage all the targets on the field.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because that was one of the things that a lot of people would say to me as a RO is don't go to war with the target because it's only a
Yeah.
10-second penalty. It's like take a couple, try to shoot at it twice and run. I think that will definitely. You might as well spend a little time trying to get it if it's going to cost you that much time. So I think that's a very good change. Um,
Yeah, some of your Class A shooters, they'll sit down and just fire a shot at and move. And so, yeah, and then that was one of the penalties that we changed, and mainly it was clarification on divisions because we added modified and we added a heavy modified division last year too, and we wanted to make sure we were fairly consistent with what other people are shooting in modified class around the country. Some of our rules, they're outlaw and they're unique to us, but I don't want you to have to change your whole game and setup to come shoot Rocky Mountain free gun.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was that was a complaint I heard. Is a lot. It's so different that they have to reshuffle all their equipment around. So I'm glad that you said that you figured out how to change that up. It,
One way I wanted to point out that I think many of our competitors missed at the He-Man 3 Gun Nationals this year, because we use the same rule set, almost identical for the two matches. There's just some differences in the classes people should was equipment abandoning. Before, if you had your shotgun rig on your chest and you finished shooting shotgun, you couldn't abandon that on the field. Any equipment you had to keep with you for the duration of the stage, or you would incur a penalty. And I just found it punitive, like it was unnecessarily punitive. If you had that, or maybe you have your shooting bags, you're a heavy shooter and you're shooting with your bags. Well, now you're going to have to carry those shooting bags with you through the whole stage if you wanted to use them while you're engaging pistol and shotgun. Well, that could create a safety concern,
mhm.
trying to manipulate those bags while you're out shooting pistol or shotgun. And I didn't think it really gave anybody a competitive edge. So now you can, if you're using those shooting bags when you got done, you can abandon those bags with your rifle in the dump bucket before you transition to your next weapon. And you can take off your shotgun gear, abandon it at the bucket to free your arms and your hands up. And keeping in mind too that it's that's you trade one for the other. If you stop and take off your shotgun caddies and whatnot at the bucket, you're also burning time on the clock.
Mhm.
So we found at He-Man that a lot of people just kept them on because they were saving those precious seconds because they're trying to score better. So yeah, that was another big change we had this year.
Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that you clarified that. So the other thing was what was so you do He-Man, Wee-Man first in the year, and then it's Rocky Mountain. And
It's great.
so He-Man, I'm still figuring out what that is. So that's well, how does that work?
The He-Man 3 Gun Nationals was started many years ago. I think 2009 was the first year. Eddie Rhodes, if you go back and you read the old Brian Enos forums, and I'm not sure, if he was the first heavy division shooter or whatnot in 3 gun, but he's credited with being the original guy behind heavy, I think around 2003 or whatnot. In fact, he was coming to matches, Cody, where they were shooting 223 and 9 millimeter, and he was a Pueblo police officer, and he still ran his 45, his pump shotgun, and his 308, and he's winning his divisions, and well, Eddie Rhodes passed unexpectedly in 2007.
Hmm.
So we designed 6 stages and put on the He-Man Nationals every year to honor Eddie Rhodes. We actually have a trophy that's the Eddie Rhodes Trophy. It's kept at the Pueblo Police Department, their headquarters, and the winner, the top law enforcement every year at He-Man, gets his name engraved in the trophy. And it looks very much like the Stanley Cup. His wife brings it every year, and she comes and shoots the match. And Vicky Carlton, she's a wonderful person. And so if you come and you shoot He-Man, it's kind of like you get a good look at Rocky because we designed 6 stages for He-Man, and we're going to reuse those 6 stages at Rocky. We're going to change some of the targets up. We may change the course of fire, but it gives you a good look at 6 of the stages for Rocky. So many of our competitors shoot both.
That's cool. I didn't know. It's been ironic that my wife's in the other room watching the Stanley Cup finals. So that you brought that
Well,
up.
it literally looks like that. I'll post the pictures this week or this weekend as we get them up from our photographer, but it literally looks like a Stanley Cup.
That's
And you'll
cool.
see pictures of the top line. We poke fun. Eddie Rhodes was known for making fun of people who shot 9 millimeter and 223, which I love to shoot. I'll be shooting TAC ops in August, but he said 9 millimeter makes you weak, and so when the He-Man Nationals started after his death, the people shooting heavy division got a olive drab shirt. The people who shot Weeman division, as we call it, just at that match, get a pink shirt to kind of make fun of him. And it said, I shot Weeman at the He-Man Nationals. And keep in mind the prize table, the prestige, the creeds there. Like Jared Miculek is our top Weeman this year. He's one of the best shooters I know in three gun, and he
Mhm.
chose to shoot Weeman, even though he wins heavy often. And it's just great. Weeman is the wild, wild west. When you're a Rocky Mountain three gun, we're kind of more under structured USPSA style multi gun rules. The Weeman division is basically open. You can put anything on your 223. You can put your red dots on your 9 millimeter. We don't have any restrictions on magazine length or anything, and you can just come out all that gear you've bought and been saving in your closet. You can bring out to Weeman and just shoot it.
I did not know that because I have some 33 round magazines in there that would be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then, so what that normally happens in the first part of May, then, because you said you
Yeah,
just came
the
off of it.
He-Man is the weekend after Mother's Day. We try to keep guys from getting in trouble. And so
Okay.
He-Man is the weekend after Mother's Day every year, and Rocky Mountain is with the exception of one year, is the second weekend of August.
Okay.
Yeah, one year we had a scheduling conflict with the Whittington Center and they bumped us back. But yeah, we try to keep, we're trying to get you guys to come down and compete. I want you to bring your families. I want you to bring your kids, bring your dogs, have a good time. And you get home in time to get your kids in school if you have school age children.
Yeah. Yeah. I think next year, the week after that, my daughter's school starts. So I was really happy about that because I'm a stay-at-home dad. It's my youngest daughter has autism, so I stay home to take care of the kids. So that's part
Right.
of the reason I don't go out and do as much as I used to because I have responsibilities. Which I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. It's just I was just really glad that I could still could go shooting and it was perfect timing. The so you guys do two events that so that's crazy because I just don't know how to describe to people how intense this whole thing is because you're running and gunning and you're taking these long shots and you got to calm yourself down to do it. And you don't have to do that in any other three gun thing I've seen. Even here in Las Cruces, when they do three gun, it's all berms, and you're not running like
Sure.
you're so. And then to do two of them a year for yourself, that because the prize table at Rocky Mountain's intense. And you have to do that for two events. That got to be real daunting. Um,
We've got
I,
a excellent sponsorship coordinator, Matt Beck. He also does IT stats and anything we need that comes down and we work on it all year. You literally start your sponsorship drive. In fact, we're signing contracts October 1 for the following year. We're already trying to bring sponsors in. And so we had a great table this year at He-Man. We had top tier prizes or like 940 pros from Mossberg and Vortex always takes great care of us and Ergo Grips. We cannot say enough about Ergo Grips out of Moriarty. Um,
oh
uh,
yeah.
that we have great sponsors that work with us, and they're kind of what makes this all happen. Aside from the staff.
Well, the thing that was impressive was last year. I've been watching Jerry Miculek. I think I said his last name right. I keep screwing that up. But I saw Jerry, and he was there. And I've been watching him. Now, I'm 43, but I've been watching him with
Sure.
my dad for 40 years. And the idea that he showed up and um, all the guys from these companies actually come out. They send people out, and you get to they're actively talking to these shooters to try to see what they can do to make the guns more competitive for this sport. I think there was a representative from Mossberg there last year, really nice guy, and a
Sure,
Kel-Tec.
that's Scott. Yeah, Scott McGregor, Kel-Tec sends our whole team.
Yeah, yeah, I have their sticker here. You got this guy's here. They have
Yeah,
cool stickers.
Burris is another one of our sponsors. They're out of Greeley, Colorado here, and Burris works with us very closely. They send their shooting team every year too. In fact, I think they have 4 or 5 shooters coming to Rocky.
Well, then,
But yeah, you really you stand out for me as something that typifies what I like to our matches is that we have the stay-at-home dad. and you're out there competing with, we have Olympic athletes like Lanny Barnes, you have Jerry Miculek out there, and we're all shooting the same stages, having a good time.
Oh yeah. There's some real heroes there too. That Marine guy, I can't remember his name. He's a wounded warrior. He comes out and the first time I was out there, I was kind of, lack of a better term, bitching and moaning because I was hurting pretty good the first day, and then I saw
Right.
this gentleman come out. He had one leg, and he's running and
I
jumping.
don't know if you noticed, he only has one eye too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
got quite a story. That's James Gill. James Gill actually used to be my area captain back in the day whenever I was ROing. And he used to come and work those matches with the Marines. And now he's one of our top competitors. Him and Tina Garcia travel together, and they are something to watch on the course.
oh it's his wife that is with him, or that lady he brings is fantastic shooter. She is amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're married or not, but she makes me look bad. So, as a shooter, I say, man, I thought I had something going on this year, and my wife makes me look bad on the course too. Emily's just a natural at the sport.
And the fact that she does it with that smile of hers, and just like she has this loadout of gear, and she's just this, she's a natural born killer, I guess you would say, but not to be
Sure.
like, she is the coolest. I actually have I don't tell her, but I brought her something from Spike's Tactical this year that I'm going to bring her up when we went to
I
Florida.
still love it. Her first three-gun rifle she built on her own is a Spikes Tactical with the JP lower, and she runs that rifle. My God, but yeah, she loves Spikes Tactical. We would love to have them back as a sponsor. We haven't had them for a few years.
Yeah, we went out to Florida because I left car racing, and I picked up a poster for her this time when I went out there. So hopefully she likes it, but don't tell her I said that. So
Yeah, no, it'll be our little secret. She'll find out in August. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Everyone that watches hopefully she watches the podcast and she'll find out. But
of course. Yeah,
that must be very intimidating. I could because the number of sponsors you do have and the quality of sponsors to call these people up and ask for things. I don't even know how you start. A friend of mine's running a political campaign, and we're calling and asking people for money, and it is hard. And you guys are asking. I don't know exactly what you ask because I can't say that, but I mean, that has to be daunting, and you have to travel for that too. From what?
we do a lot. Yeah, email, phone calls, text messages. We tried people on Facebook Messenger, on Instagram. It's really a challenge to get hold of these people, and there's so many people competing, and to sell them on your cause. And what I try to tell our sponsors is, don't just send me a box full of your products. Send me something you're proud of. Like, help me market something for you. What do you guys want to bring to market this year? Or Burris has a new scope, the Veracity out. This is an amazing range scope that talks to your rangefinder, your app on your phone, and helps you shoot long range and whatnot. So Burris is a great example. Scott from Mossberg sent us their 940 Pro waterfowl, and it is just a beautiful piece of equipment. And that's really smart. I don't want people just to send me products for the table. I want us to help the industry grow. I want to help your company grow, and I want to put things in the hands of competitors that are going to use them and show their friends. There's
Oh yeah.
nothing better. A commercial doesn't do it justice when you can sit there and hold that ergo grip in your hand and you say, "Wow, that's amazing," or look down the excess site that you own. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys have Dylan. I think is one of your, and now I use Dylan stuff because I do load development for myself. It's one of my escapes. So I did, and then I talked to the owner of Dylan, or I shouldn't say that because I'm not for sure, but there was a gentleman there from Dylan, and we would talk, and he explained how this stuff works, and I ended up going out and spending money I probably should spend on other things. Pick up And
As a guy who has two Dillon presses and the Dillon bullet feeder in my basement, I understand completely. The Dillon bullet feeder, I'm lucky because Emily actually won that off a prize table, and so that one didn't cost me any money. But Luth AR is a great sponsor. Like there's so many guys out there. Thunder Beast Arms out of Wyoming sends us suppressor certificates every year, and we were lucky enough. My wife and I have both won one over the years, and they're just beautiful equipment. And the great thing for the sponsors is we promote those guys with everybody we talk to. Not even from a match point of view, but I'm just saying, hey, you've got to try this LaRue NBT trigger. Or I've got an AR gold trigger and another rifle that's really nice too. And I think it helps their marketing a lot too, to sell some of those products.
oh yeah, uh, there are companies that have, I wasn't really active in shooting for 10 years, but I've been reading about it. But there's companies that are at your place that I'd never even heard of until I showed up at the event. And then I started, really researching what these other things were. So it definitely helps with advertising because I didn't know who some of, like, I'd never heard of LaRue Tactical until I got one of their triggers. And I'm like, well, we'll try it out. And it's an amazing trigger. I mean, there is no shortage of awesome stuff. I've gotten a gun bag from you guys. That's a beautiful gun bag. One of the things that I got for volunteering the first time, and I keep telling everyone I keep volunteering because my equipment keeps getting better. So,
Somebody one day told me they couldn't shoot three gun because they couldn't afford my AR-15 that I run, and they don't understand that that handguard was something I won off the prize table from Ergo Grips. The trigger in it I got from LaRue. The everything, the stock on there is from Magpul. That again was a prize that I won off the table. But the great thing from the sponsors is people are sitting there looking at my rifle, going, "Oh my God, that's such a beautiful thing," and I think that drives sales for them. But it allows somebody like me who doesn't really live in the income tax bracket to have such fancy weapons and such fancy gear. It allows me to be more competitive too. And that's why I used to staff those matches other than shooting, as I went home with great stuff.
oh
You
yeah,
reload, I went home with 3,000 Hornady 9 millimeters from a match. And that made my shooting year because I didn't have to buy there were bullets, but I went home and I developed a load with them, and now I shoot their bullets that are 9 millimeters.
oh what grain was that they gave you?
No, those were 115 grain, and those were HAPs. They're Hornady Action Pistol, I believe, is what HAP stands for, and they're very similar to their XTPs, but they don't have the serrations in it. And it's just a great bullet. It's a great load, and they're consistent. They're consistent. Yeah, we've been shooting them for many, many years.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm getting ready to put in a bullet order. So that's
Are you kidding?
no,
Yeah.
I think I
Now
just bought.
Hodgdon comes with powder. So you've got Dillon Precision out there. Hodgdon comes in with powder. RCBS is there, Reading Reloading. There's quite a quite a selection out there for people to take home.
Yeah, yeah. It, it's hard to describe to people that aren't there, and hopefully, as time goes on, we can show more and more of what happens there to get the word out because it is such an awesome event. And I think one of the things, as being such a big event, that some of the competitors don't understand is that the ROs are all volunteers, and we're there along. We're there for the whole week. So some of these guys get a little cranky sometimes. So
Sure. I'm sure you're out cooking in the sun too. And you were the best shooter in the world until you take the last stage, and things just happen. Things just happen out there. And you treat my staff well, or Jared turns into a bear. I had a problem with some sponsors a few years ago, and I went out and I fixed their problem. They had every right to be frustrated. We had a stage that wasn't going terribly well, and every year's a learning experience. Well, when I got through talking to him, I let him know that if you ever mistreat any of my staff, I will never invite you back to any of our matches. And
hmm
I would run a match sponsor free before I would allow anybody to mistreat our staff.
well, what from personal experience, when you guys come in to help us out, what's impressive is you bring a level of calm to that environment when you come in there to straighten it out. And you're the arbiter. You're trying to figure out everything because you weren't there. And that was another impressive thing that really made me want to come back is how calm everything stays. Yeah, because there's guns and there's everyone's tired. And Greg is a major calming factor. I don't know how that guy has the energy he does. But just the level of safety for something that intense. Because I was when I was going through my range safety officer course, and I was telling them why I was doing it. They're like, "That is insane." The NRA even says it's the level of safety that we have for that big of an event is impressive. To go out and no one gets hurt, except for if you're a rattlesnake, they get hurt a lot. But
Rattlesnakes get hurt. Yeah, we send rattlesnakes to Jesus. Yeah.
so
Cody, you guys, you're going to come across the country, across the state of New Mexico. Come give me a week of your life, and as I always say, we pay you in sunburns and mosquito bites, and true and not true. We also pay for your housing. We get you a room in a cabin. We pay for your dinners and lunches while you're there. You mentioned we have John McDermott comes in from Colorado to cook from us. Whiskey Dalton and her husband John come in from Arizona. We'll have Tommy Noto, who's one of your top competitors. He used to be one of the top heavy competitors for JP Rifles. He'll be there cooking you catfish, and he's doing a catfish fry, and I think he's doing gumbo one night too. And he's coming in from Louisiana just to cook for you guys. And we try to take as best care as we can of the staff while you guys are there.
oh yeah, yeah,
You guys all get paid the same as I do too. We're all volunteers, including the directors. Yeah, every dollar we have goes back into our program, and when we can, we haven't so far this year because we haven't not got a prize yet. But whenever we can, we donate to the junior program at the NRA Whittington Center too. And I
yeah,
think last year we gave them $2,600. The year before that, I think we gave them $4,200. So yeah, everything we do out there is just for the match. Nobody's making a dollar off this.
yeah. That's how I heard about this. It's actually through the junior program through the NRA. My dad volunteers for that. He's the bus driver that takes the kids around, and
That's awesome.
yeah. So I bumped into Greg, and he couldn't stop talking about it, and that's how I got involved. I'm like, this guy was talked for an hour about everything and never repeated anything twice. I have to go take a look. So, but the level of enthusiasm, the thing is too, is like you were saying, and you weren't name dropping, you were just saying those are the people that are there. It's like be having dinner, and you can get so much information just from the people you're having dinner with. Uh,
Sure.
yeah, they're sitting there, and everyone's the thing that's impressive too is the camaraderie. It's like if you don't have a piece of equipment and someone else isn't using it, they'll probably let you borrow it. I'm not saying they always
Of
will,
course.
but everyone wants everyone to get through to the end and have the best chance. That was the other impressive part, and the fact that you can't get enough people to volunteer always is baffling with the hospitality. It's just the idea of you get to spend even a day or two at the Whittington Center when people have to pay to go there. For a couple of years, I paid to go up to the Whittington Center and spend 3 days there, and I have to pay for every single day. And when I
Sure.
go to you guys, I get to go hang out for very low cost. So
We appreciate your help, man. You've been a big help to us, and it's hard. We're looking for 45 to 50 people for August, and I may sign up 45 staff members and lose 10 of them the week before the match because life just happens. Somebody broke their arm, a kid got sick, whatever, and it's a big ask to have you come out for a week. And I know it's a big ask for me to take off work for a week well, actually, I'm down there for at least 2 weeks before Rocky and about 10 days for He-Man and all the trips we do in between. But I think once people get on the grounds and they see one match, they generally come back.
yeah,
A lot of the staff we used to have too, with the previous match directors, Denise and JJ Johnson, those guys had been there since the Soldier of Fortune days. So, we lost a lot of them just because it's hard to run 22 miles when you're 75. and not that we don't have some guys out there that do it, but we're always looking for young, energetic, passionate people to come out and juniors. We bring in lots of juniors every year. And we have juniors out working the stages on a lot of stages. I think Elias was working with you maybe on Brian Moffat's stage,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's
The
been
kid
back every
left.
year, and the competitors tip the juniors too. I think Elias went home with like $300 in cash in 2 days,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's good for the kids.
Well, the thing that I like about it is when the kids are out there, you got these world class shooters that are slowing down and talking to these kids to try to further the sport. Uh,
Sure.
I mean, Jerry Miculek is sitting there talking to a 11-year-old kid, encouraging him to continue on, and I'm just in awe. I was told that young man, I'm like, if I could have had that guy when I was your age take time to talk to me, that would have been awesome. Because I've been watching him for 40 years, and his daughter is pretty cool too. He passed that on to his kids, and he's very proactive on trying to keep everything safe. And so, well, what else could we? Well, yeah, you
One
guys
thing I
even.
wanted to highlight about Jerry really quick before we moved on. I was awestruck the first time I met him, and I was just a range officer out there resetting targets. And my job was always resetting the shotgun throwers, the toasters, and all the aerial targets. And I heard somebody yelling up the hill from me. I was on this brutal course that I'm running, and I heard somebody yelling behind me just to keep going, to leave all the steel on the ground, just push it toward your throwers. And I was so impressed. I turned around and it was Jerry. And Jerry's out there resetting and working as hard as the staff. And you
Oh
see
yeah,
that in a lot of our competitors as well.
yeah, Jerry. Between things, he's out there cleaning up brass. He's painting targets. Um, he was working just as hard as any of the volunteers that were working the stage. He's out there working. He ain't too proud. I think that actually made me have a lot more respect for him because he's just out there helping. Um,
And he works that hard and he still wins. And other guys sit up at the start because they're trying to save their legs. And I understand that. But Jerry's going to smoke you, dude. And he's resetting every stage, you know.
well, I think he was saying that there was something wrong with. He was having a little problems with his eyes or something, and he still shot 100 times better than me. So,
Guys, world class. You have some great competitors out there. Lanny Barnes, she's represented us in the Olympics multiple times as a biathlete, and has one of the best attitudes of anybody in the shooting sports. And when you have competitors like that on the grounds, it makes our day as volunteers is so much better.
yes. Oh, here, I'm going to show this real quick. Just let's go. Oh, okay. It's not going to let me. I don't have it set up right. But I have a picture up here of Jerry stopped and I took a picture with me. Didn't know who I was. Just signed an autograph and took a picture. It's just, and he's such a humble man too. You can ask him any question and he'll give you an honest answer. But that's the whole entire premise of this. Is there are some big personalities out there, but there are a lot of personalities that come to this that are really interested in helping the next group of people come along. So it's just impressive. And then
But say tell your friends, we bring your kids out. The kids get to work the stages too. Obviously, make sure that your children have been around firearms and are safe, and we keep the kids back. The kids, they walk behind the competitors and they pick up brass and holes and pick up steel targets and stuff. So we keep the kids safe. But it's a family deal for me. That's why I go back every year. You guys are our family. We're down there. We look forward to seeing Cody Bakewell and Greg Greason and everybody. And that's why we originally made the trip before we ever took the matches over.
yeah, and the idea that you guys don't make any money too. You're volunteering as well. You're giving your time to it, and then the other program that's really impressive that the NRA does that I didn't know until we start going to the Whittington is that junior NRA program.
for
I
sure.
actually I signed my daughter up. She's probably going to go next year and learn about the and that's a week long program all by itself. The cabins that we stay in, the kids stay in for a week, and they go and learn how to shoot all these different guns and go through all these classes. Top the top notch instruction that happens at the Whittington Centers never ceases to amaze me. Because it's what, like 43,000 acres or something? It's huge.
I think NRA Whittington Center, if I remember correctly, is 33,000 acres. And
33.
yeah, I forget exactly how many ranges that are there, but one thing I like is when we're done with the shoot, Matt Beck and I the other day, we just got through running our day, got through everybody through that day, running stages and whatnot. And then we went and we took our bolt guns down. We took our bolt guns down to one of the mini ranges out there, and we're shooting 30-06 and 6.5 Creedmoor. And a few years before that, I had my 1940 Winchester 94, and it's just love of guns, and they have so many ranges out there, and they have sporting clays and everything. And Emily and I, whenever we travel south, we go down to Albuquerque periodically in different places. We actually use the NRA Whittington Center just as a hotel.
Oh yeah, the campsites there are they're awesome. They have two campgrounds there. Um, I haven't seen anything about the Whittington Center that isn't impressive, and the people that get to work there is, Greg. It's just a small sample, and I have Eric, the guy that does I think he's the director of something. I don't want to misspeak about what he does, but everyone there is really cool. I mean,
That's right. Eric Whaley, he's your program director, and he runs Adventure Camp. Yeah. Yeah, we
yeah,
get to work with Eric Whaley really closely every year. You're
yeah.
right. It's top notch people. The guy's even in the kitchen. We go in there and JD Fish takes care of us every year. He actually, my wife and I got married on the Whittington Center grounds in 2018, and the Whittington Center catered JD and his wife catered our wedding. And we have pictures of us on the Coors Range holding Emily with her Mossberg, and I've got my Benelli, and just, yeah, it's a great place. We got married out there. I think it cost us $500 to rent that huge building that we do Rocky Mountain Three Gun in for our wedding, as opposed to paying $4,000 for 4 hours at a wedding center here in Colorado.
well, yeah. Um, I think, yeah, the amount of stuff that you can do at the Whittington Center and the space, um, and they seem to be very accommodating to what you guys are doing, from what I can see. I don't know any of the background of what's really going on, but like, what was it? Stage one, the shotgun range. I mean, that takes a lot of space. Every one of those ranges is the one range that you're shooting is probably equivalent of like 4 or 5 bunkers that you're running across, and all the different geography, and you have mountains, and you have open plains, and you're, uh, there really is no two stages that are identical. It's just impressive, and to be able to go up there and spend a whole week, your work, you're going to work, but it's so rewarding to get to spend the camaraderie. And the thing I like is the wind down at every day. You get to go and have dinner, and you're winding down and decompressing. And then you get to go back to your room. That's amazing, and hang out. And when you're there, you're going to bump into some pretty interesting people too. Talk about reloading techniques and stuff. I mean, it's a whole gun culture all around you. And so that's the reason I decided to ask if you'd come on, and I was very impressed that you said yes. I'm still blown away that you actually said yes, that you'd come on to this
Oh,
little
Cody, I've always got time. Man, you take a week out of your life for me every year. You ever need anything, you reach out to us. I didn't own shotgun carriers the first 3 years I did three gun
mm-hmm.
because the people on the grounds just loaned me their gear to help get me through. Last year, I had a 308 that was giving me trouble that we had rebarreled, and one day uh, uh, the post office delivered a brand new barrel to me from one of our staff. The guy saw me struggling and whatnot, and damn if he didn't have a different barrel he thought would work better for me, and he shipped it to me. I didn't even know it was coming. and
Oh yeah.
we take care of each other. This last match at He-Man, I didn't have my shotgun carriers the whole week because I had three different staff members using them, and luckily I
Mm.
got them all back. But well, we had some kids that were short 20 gauge. Oh, well, somebody was coming down from Denver still. They were coming down late, and the kids needed some 20 gauge buckshot and slugs. And this guy's over at Cabela's bought $300 worth of ammo for these kids so they could shoot and didn't get paid for it. Nobody asked them to do it. It's just that camaraderie that it drives that every year. It just brings us back home.
Well, I don't even think it's intentional. The camaraderie. It's just the nature of the people that you have there, and the environment you guys promote. It's like a big, it's like a family reunion, except for with people you want to be around. So
That's an honest statement, yeah. So it is,
so
and I just said, well, we all come home to the NRA Whittington Center. None of us live there except for Greggy, but it's home to us every year.
yeah, he's lucky too because I'd love to live there. And Greg is very he's such a nice guy, but he's very persuasive because my dad is up there right now. I think they're doing the Memorial Day shooting clays event. And
ATA, yeah, he's at the ATA shoot. Yeah, they
yeah,
shoot from sun up to sundown, and that is a crazy event.
oh, that they're nuts. The guns, $30,000 shotgun. And
Sure.
they pull
That's
up
their
in those
sport.
the buses that are there. I mean, I thought it was funny that those guys will have a $500,000 bus sitting in the parking lot or up at the campground, and they're complaining about a $6 hamburger. Like you have a $30,000 shotgun, a $500,000 um, bus, and you're complaining about $6 for a burger. Okay, your
Yeah.
priorities are interesting. Um,
No, I love it.
but
We shoot such a different sport. They see our shotguns and they say, "Oh, like we could never use those. We don't like that shotgun for that, and we don't like this shotgun." And what we do is so different. Like our Mossberg, my wife's running a 940 Pro right now, and
oh,
I've got a
dude,
930 Pro I'll be running in August. That is my shotgun, and it does exactly what I needed to do. In fact, I can't say enough about that shotgun. That was before Mossberg was a sponsor. But that equipment is not what they need in those matches at all. They need I guess, the $30,000 shotgun.
well, I have a FN SLP Mark One that I bought before I had kids, and I could spend money on things. So, um,
Right.
and last year I got tired of this one guy who was kind of being a little bit cocky there at the thing, and I pulled my 3-gun shotgun out, and he was practicing, and I was standing next to him, and I was just blowing away everything he was with my little, you know, was it $2,000 shotgun instead of his $30,000 shotgun.
Sure.
So yeah, they kind of look down on us. I never understand. I mean, we combine all these other disciplines. I don't understand, but nor will I ever try. But yeah,
I've
and
told some of our sponsors, I've told some of our sponsors when they come out with a new platform or whatnot, send it to us. We will break it. Three gun is so hard on equipment, your body, your mind, and whatnot. And what a great way to really test a platform. And that's why I run what I run. That's why I'm shooting my 930 and whatnot because I know what it can do. And very reliable for me in matches. I hear other people complain about it, and I know why they complain about it. They don't clean it enough.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah. Our three gun, we will break everything, and it's a great way to test your weapons and your discipline.
well, you talk about the when I saw Mossberg because I've been shooting for 25 years, and I'm like Mossberg, what is Mossberg doing out here? And then when I saw them actually putting them to work, I mean, and literally you put those guns to work when they're out there because you're putting them through some hell.
Sure.
And I saw Mossberg go out there and rock and roll. I was like, maybe I should change platforms because were having a lot more success with their Mossberg than I was having with my FN. So,
Funny. Great thing about Scott from Mossberg too is not only is he a great competitor, he's a top-notch competitor. He's a really good shooter. That's dad and son time every year. He comes out with his son, and they come out just to shoot Rocky Mountain three gun with a group of friends, and some of them are all sponsors like High Biz and whatnot. Desert Tech, those guys are all people who sponsor, and but it's literally a family reunion for them where they come and stay on the Whittington Center grounds. They literally travel and camp together and stuff like that, and then go shoot together. So it's the intense competitive match that it is, and it's a family vacation for the guys at Mossberg.
Yeah, and like you were saying, you could do a family thing there. What's cool is when I go to the NRA Whittington Center. When I went there on Monday, I didn't leave the whole entire time. You guys have so much. You're so well equipped with everything that's going on in there, and you're so accommodating that I didn't have to go running back into town for anything. There was someone that was going to, hey, I need to get some water. I'm going to run into town. Don't go into town. We got, and all of a sudden you have more water and you know what to do with.
Sure.
Yeah, I need Gatorade on my stage, and all of a sudden you're way better with names than I am. So
That's
that
whiskey probably brought it out to you. Yeah, Whiskey Dalton's big smile and great attitude. She goes out and she keeps everybody the last few years stocked on waters, Gatorade, snacks, anything you need. We
yeah.
just want to make sure you guys are up and you're healthy and you're having a good time while you're there.
And if you're hungry, it's because you want it to be. It's not because that there wasn't a lack of anything there. So
Oh, sure, sure, all
yeah.
day.
And the one thing I learned the hard way the first time, and it was my fault, is that you definitely have to make sure you write down what you want for the next day for
Yep.
lunch. And they have every kind of bread there. They have every kind of, so you want, like, you tell them the sandwich and they go, I thought that was too small. Here's a bigger one for you. So it's like,
I screwed up in this our last match. I didn't fill out my bag for Sunday, and they came over. I was just busy. Man, I work until midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and on my computer, working through tablets and stuff like this. And damn if they didn't deliver lunch out there. And I looked around all sad. I didn't have any food, and it's because I didn't fill out my lunch bag. And as soon as they figured it out, they brought me lunch. But that was on my fault. Yeah, that was my fault.
yeah. Well, yeah, that lady, she cooked dinner. She is just fantastic. So, guys, if you get the opportunity, tell them where they can go and if they want to volunteer. Where do we go to volunteer for you guys?
So look us up on practicescore.com. On Practicescore, if you just type in Rocky Mountain Three Gun, it'll come up with this year's match. And when you click on the match to register, there's actually a link that you just copy and paste into your browser that allows you to bypass payment and register as stat. And if you have any problems, because technology is technology, and sometimes
Mhm.
things don't work the way you want to, call me. Do you mind if I give out my phone number, Cody?
If you feel comfortable with it, it's
Literally,
fine.
last year, Brandon Herrera actually lit up one of my posts, and my number got shared all over the internet anyway. So 720-481-5102. My number is on the bottom of the registration. And
Mhm.
again, that's 720-481-5102. You call me, you reach out to Rocky Mountain 3G at gmail.com. I will take care of it. And, yeah, we'll get you in the match. You just send me your name, your information, give me a call. I will get you in the match. Even if we're full, that match, we're on a wait list for Rocky, which is normal. Right now, we sold out in January, and I'm never on a wait list for staff. You always looking for more bodies to help out. And if you couldn't get in the match as a competitor, you can come staff with us. And,
Yeah.
you can come staff with us, and then you get to shoot the match, and we waive your match fee. So you get to shoot the match for free. I'm going to take care of your lunches and your dinners. You're going to stay in a cabin that's got a full kitchen where you get up early and take care of your breakfast. And in fact, this year, Whiskey's been making breakfast for everybody, but
Yeah.
we will take care of you while you're on the grounds. And then you work for us Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And there's quite a little package we try to offer for our staff.
Well, I don't know. I don't, it's an expensive match. I don't know how much, because I've never had to pay for it because I've always volunteered. But yeah, so I don't,
Match entry fee is 375 this year for competitors, and it's
yeah.
375, and we waived that. And the room we're paying for you guys, we pay $100 a night for that room.
Hmm.
So Cody's on the ground for 7 days. We pay $700 out of pocket, plus your match entry fee and all that just to have you there. And we do that for each one of you guys. And that's where all the money that's generated from our program goes to. It takes all of those dollars to pay for your rooms and pay for your food. And we have a little bit left at the end of the year, and whatever's left goes to replacing steel, buying new paper targets, new tape, and paint for the next year. And,
Yeah.
and yeah, so much of this is done. If I told you what this match cost me out of pocket every year, you'd think I was a crazy man. But yeah, it's done for the love of sport and just the family that we have in the three-gun community.
Well, it's you go and work your butt off, and I'm not shying away from that. It's work. It's a lot of work. You're going to work,
Sure.
but it's very rewarding, and it's my vacation now. I plan around this now because I like going so much, and my wife wants me to go because I take care of myself better. So it's my part of my vacation budget this year is, going up there, and once you get there, it's you stop spending money. It seems like I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm not saying we might still want some pizza. That they have one of the best pizza joints like right down the street from the Whittington Center, and I think
Yeah,
it's
Bruno's Pizza in town, man. I've been eating there for a long time, and yeah, they sponsor us too some years, and give us coupons and whatnot. But yeah, we love to promote Bruno's in town. They're a
yeah,
great pizza place, and even if they don't sponsor, I'm still over there eating.
yeah. So, guys, I can't stress this enough. If you got anything away from this podcast, go and volunteer for the Rocky Mountain Three Gun. Hopefully, it'll change your life the way it's changed mine. I mean, I'm down, almost 40 pounds because I started going out and realized I was out of shape. Uh, so it's changed me. And then, if nothing else, when I was doing Hammerada stuff, I always said I volunteer for food and shirts. And you can see the shirt is fantastic. So,
Oh, I love the back of that shirt too. We have so many great
oh,
sponsors, Cody.
oh yeah,
I wish I could just sit
yeah.
here and name them off. Kel-Tec is going to be back as a title sponsor this year. Ergo Grips. We always look at Ergo Grips because of their grips. They have some of the best hand guards, bolt carrier groups, cleaning tools. Like every one of those guys that sponsor our matches, I highly recommend to people to reach out to. Not just because they sponsor us, but they have quality things that make your shooting game better. Whether you're
Oh
just
yeah,
like a range shooter that goes and enjoys plinking at the range, or if you want to compete at the competitive level.
oh yeah. They've and those people are into that sport too. They're really
Yeah.
into. So, but other than that, is there anything else you would like to bring up or that we
No,
didn't
I'm
cover?
just thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Yeah, thank you for taking the time to talk to us and help us promote the match. And the only thing I can say, which is a completely related sidebar, is everybody just needs to get out and vote.
Oh,
Every
yes.
year I sit here and I watch states like my state here in Colorado. I'm actually from New Mexico originally. New Mexico, one thing that had kept me from moving back to New Mexico is some of the politics. And we have the boots on the ground. We just need to go and cast ballots and make sure we're taking care of our civil liberties. That's when I'm not working for the matches or working at home, I'm working on advocacy. Last year we brought in the National Shooting Sports Foundation. We hope to have them back in August. I'm hoping to have one of our state legislators from New Mexico coming and speaking at our match. And we're just trying to make sure that we can preserve this for future generations to come.
Well, this podcast is a hardcore uh, uh, advocate for the Second Amendment. Corey, who couldn't make it tonight, was having some internet problems. He's running for office uh, to help because he wants to maintain our Second Amendment rights. So anything we can do to help forward uh, Second Amendment, and I've had tragedy from firearms in my past, and I'm still a very hardcore advocate for firearms because you know if you mishandle a hammer, you're in construction. It can hurt you. These are tools. They're not, and these tools can hurt people, but they can also bring people together from all over the country, like they do with Rocky Mountain Three Gun. So
And that's why we
so
keep so many range safety officers on every stage too. Like you said, we try to keep it accident free. I broke my ankle once out on the range, but I've never had a firearms related injury myself. And anyway, yeah, no, Cody, thank you so much for your time and giving us a platform. I appreciate that.
Oh no, yeah. Anything I can do to help, something that's changed me for the better, we'll get it out there. So if you guys, all the links to Jared's Rocky Mountain 3-gun thing will be in the description. You can look for you guys on Facebook, YouTube, um, or you
On
on Instagram.
Facebook, please go check out our videos on YouTube if you want to get a feel for the match. 2024 video is such a gorgeous video of just the grounds and the meat, and the 25 video again, it just really gives you an idea of what you're looking at. And yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And here soon we'll be on Twitter and maybe TikTok.
Yeah, and if so, you can look for all their information. Will be down in the description. I'll put Jared's number in there. I would give up my number, but Jared's gutsy, so we'll go with that.
Oh, it's how I do my job, man. No, I literally we had banned SIG P320 from the range last year, and that's something that's still we're not allowing the P320s on our range for safety. They have nothing against SIG. SIG Sauer is a wonderful company, and they make some wonderful weapons. We're just waiting to see how this all plays out. But Brandon Herrera had shared one of my personal emails. He must have known somebody at the match, and I was laughing because he has a huge reach, and I said, "Oh crap! It had my name and my phone number on it." And if you went back and looked at that Herrera video, my number's out there, Cody.
Okay, so one Brandon Herrera talked about you. That guy's running for office too. He's a big advocate for the
Yes,
Second
he
Amendment.
is, and we throw our weight. And you guys do. You send us your information. You've got a candidate running that's promoting what we do and promoting our protecting our civil liberties. We will promote them on all our socials. We will promote them at our matches and try to get the name out.
Yeah, if you would tell Brandon Herrera if you ever talk to him that I'm a big fan, I would appreciate it because I like all of his
His
stuff.
his armor, you're going to be running one of his armors is coming and shooting AK in August too. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he works with Brandon Herrera, and he works with another one of our sponsors, M plus M. M plus M, a company that kind of simplified and redesigned the AK a little bit, and they'll be there in August as well.
Yeah, that's cool. I have to. You have to point him out to me because I'd like to talk to that guy. That's pretty cool. Maybe give me some good tips on because I do reloading and stuff.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So on that note, unless there's anything else, I think we're good to go.
All right, Cody. Well, thank you for your time, and you guys reach out anytime, man. We love to talk to you.
All right. Yeah. And thank you for your time. Your time's valuable too. The one thing you can never get more of is time. So I always try to appreciate it. So.
Of course. Well, Cody, you guys take care. Can't wait to see you in August.
All right. All right, guys. Stay tuned for the next rabbit hole.